What's up, sports fans? This is Jake Waxman
and Tyler Lavalette
coming to you from the studio in Waterford for another Two Guys Talk Sports Friday Roundtable, or should I say, four guys? That's right. We have some guests with us today, and to start off the show, to these two gentlemen, would you like to introduce yourselves to our audience?
Well, I've never been called a gentleman before, but I'll roll with that. I'm Gary Allison, and you want to know about me? I guess I'm a writer. I work for the township as well, and I love sports. So this is the first time I've ever been on a sports show. Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
I don't know how much of contribution you're going to enjoy from this end, but I'm gonna do my best. All right, so
we look forward to it either way.
All right, thanks.
My name's Jim Powers, and I pretty much do a lot of volunteering here in Waterford. I was Volunteer of the Year a few years back, so it's always good to volunteer.
It is.
So
absolutely,
that's
and
good
I
stuff.
love Waterford. Yes.
Good stuff. Well, gentlemen, it is an honor to have you on the show today. To our audience, give a warm welcome to Gary and Jim.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. I guess good stuff. All right. I guess I'll start with some related particular question that I have in mind for both of you.
Okay.
Have you two ever worked together on any projects of sort or anything in your field of work?
Well, I'll let him take this away because I'm more of his cohort.
Oh, yeah, we have a show that Powers Rock and Roll radio show on just before you guys, and it's great. We play music and have all kinds of guests because I think everybody's are good people, so.
Except for us. Except for us. And we need good people around us to make us feel better about ourselves.
To our audience out there, hey, if you guys can check out the show that these two run. It's a wonderful show. Check them out.
Oh, thanks.
Give them an audience.
If we can find a link to their show, we'll put a link into the description.
Yeah, and I'll say this to people who do listen to the show: if you like it, let us know. If you don't like it, keep your filthy mouth shut. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it.
Oh, wow. Good stuff. Tyler, is there a particular question you'd like to ask these guys?
Yes, obviously, we have someone who's definitely a Wings fan here.
Oh, my God, yes.
Obviously, that's pretty much planned. Now, the fact that Jake and I, he's a Jake over here is a Chicago guy.
Boo. Man, if I would have known that.
Bring those boos in. I enjoy it. I am an outsider here in Michigan.
Yeah, he's the outsider. He's around by three-fourths of Michigan people. So. Oh, God. It's all good, man. All good.
You know, it's funny. Every year I take a trip with a friend of mine, and we do a hockey trip. And we go to a different city, and the only stipulation is that either the Red Wings are playing or the Pittsburgh Penguins are playing. Because my friend's from Pittsburgh.
Oh.
But I said, no, there's one more stipulation. And he said, well, what's that? I said, we never, ever go to Chicago. Ooh. And he goes, why not? I said, because the heck with Chicago, that's why. I'm not giving my money, and I hate the Blackhawks.
Ouch! Sounds like a lot of my friends from high school.
We did get something good from Chicago.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did.
Defenseman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because everybody hated him so bad until he joined our team.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't forget, you guys also got Patrick Kane. That one still stings.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, technically he spent time at the Rangers first, though.
True.
We could have had him 10 years ago. It would have been a lot better.
But the Bears got Swift from the Lions, so it's almost fair.
Oh, yeah, he gets hurt.
I mean, it seems like we get
We also got
trade
Ben, they also
players
got
back and
Ben
forth
Johnson
across-
now as coach.
Yeah.
So.
That's right. That's right. You guys
So
stole
we
Ben
already know
Johnson.
all your plays.
No, shit.
Yeah.
If they're playing
Oh,
backwards,
yeah,
I
that's
hope
going to
they
be
do well.
tricking us.
Got some double agents going on.
Yeah,
Swift
yeah.
must be
The
one of
quarterback's
them.
going to try to trip.
Another question I had for both of you guys. What are some goals that you two have set in terms of your field of work? Like, what are some goals that you have for 2025? If any.
You first. Your goals are more worthy than mine, so that you first.
Well, I'm doing more in the schools and trying to help teachers. So I'm with youth assistants, and they just gave me some money so I can take a bunch of kids to the book fair, and so they can get books if the kids can't afford it. So, and try to say no more often, so I'm not volunteering all the time.
He's such a selfless human being. He really is. Because I don't volunteer for anything. But I was in the Navy when I was younger, and Navy, I don't know if you guys know this, stands for Never Again Volunteer Yourself. So I follow that. You know. But my goal this year, hopefully I have I write novels, so hopefully I have a new book coming out this year. But we'll see. It's a lot of work. If not, then it'll be next year.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good plan. And before I move on to my next question, or
You want to know about his book?
Yeah, I guess
He's the father of.
No, this is a sports show. We want to get on the sports, man.
Okay.
Before I go on, Gary, I just want to say thank you so much for your service.
Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate that.
Greatly appreciate it.
It was
Thank
my
you.
pleasure. And I don't know if you would be saying thank you if you knew what I did, but I'm just saying, no.
Anyone who serves this country deserves thanks.
No,
Thank
he
you.
ended the Cold War. Him and Ray.
Single-handedly.
There you go.
There's that. So
Here's a big deal,
I mean,
folks.
Come on.
Go
He and
ahead.
I both were born after they'd ended. So.
Well,
He had
back
to-
in my day.
He had to actually sign a book where he wasn't allowed to talk about it. So he was in intelligence, even though he's not intelligent.
No, I'm far from intelligent.
Basically, a lot of NDAs and what have you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
So, anyway, so when you said you would not go to Chicago for doing any hockey events and stuff, what other cities have you been to, though?
Oh, well, we've been, my buddy and I, we've been to Boston, of course, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Nashville. Let's see, there's one more in there, I think, because we just started this not too long ago.
Right.
I want to say, Philadelphia. We went to Philadelphia when they had the outdoor game between the Flyers and the Penguins.
Ah, yeah, I remember watching that game.
Yes, and it was raining and freezing cold. And it's an outside venue, of course.
Yep,
and
good old
These
Lincoln.
games are so cool.
yeah, but it was so much fun. We had a blast. We had an
Glad to
absolute
hear
blast.
that.
Heck
The only
yeah.
problem is that I had to wear a Pittsburgh Penguin sweater. So, but that's okay.
Seriously, wish we were able to face them in 2010
Yeah.
for the final. That would have been fun.
Right.
Bet 2 out of 3 for the Stanley Cup.
Would have been great.
Yeah. But yeah, it was.
What about you, Jim?
I've been to Olympia and Joe Louis, and
Oh, so you just confined yourself to the Detroit?
I'm a homer. Yeah.
A homer.
I
Right.
played hockey in a lot of different places. Like when you go to play in Canada, it was
There you go.
the first time I played over there. I asked for some French fries and some ketchup, and they, huh?
What do they call them?
They give you vinegar and oil. Or,
Oh, yeah, I know they put vinegar on their chips. They don't call them chips, do they? Do they call them chips?
yeah. So it's like
Things
whatever.
turn out these are British. You just called crisps.
Oh, my.
Anyways, it was But
Were you a good hockey
cheap
player,
hockey.
Jim?
What?
Were you a good hockey player?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I bet you were.
I think it was too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
I was huge. but I
6'5". You're a monster on the
Yeah,
ice.
they had the ambulance on the ice for me 3 times.
Nice.
What?
I broke a kid's back. His name was Best, and so after that, it was a free for all. Just people coming after me.
Oh my
putting-
God!
The refs just let them just go after me. It was crazy.
I don't know how I feel about you
boy.
now.
Then I broke a kid's arm, and then I broke a kid's. He couldn't see.
Oh, you're a menace.
They were just in the way. That's all.
Well, don't make Jim angry.
But I've never been to any. My dad went to the Chicago Blackhawks to watch a game against the Red Wings, and he was a Marine, so he would say what he wanted. And this guy stood up with a chain and started swinging, and my dad said, "He won."
Oh, crap.
Guy carried a
Now
chain.
I feel like I know a good reason why one of you two don't go to Chicago.
Yeah.
You guys are starting some trouble.
I will say this though, I would like to go to Chicago to Wrigley Field to see a Cubs game.
Well,
That's a must.
Jake and I, we just so happened to do that last August.
Did you?
It was a good time. We also
Great
went to the
experience.
White Sox Stadium as well because the Tigers played both teams in their 7-game road trip.
Oh,
Had
nice.
a 5-2 record, so combined. So I'm hoping to sweep the White Sox.
I love it when they
games.
beat the White Sox. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, the game Jake and I went to, I would have, the game Jake and I went to, with the Cubs win, which I honestly I kind of was hoping for. So at least one of us was going to be happy. I want him to be happy, It's just,
Yeah.
he's a Cubs fan and all, and so
He deserves to be happy.
I mean, the team did
Thank
win a
you.
World Series 9 years ago.
Every 100 years.
Every 100 years.
That was perfectly said. Yeah. Well, at least I can say I saw him win the World Series of my lifetime. Before
That's
I
right.
The
bite the dust.
I went to the Budweiser Brewery tour in St. Louis, and when they mentioned in the giant beer tub kegs they because of the Cardinals Cubs rivalry, being in St. Louis, the brew tour, the tour guide mentioned that it would take you over 100 years to drink the beer in one of their giant tub kegs. Or as long until the next Cubs World Series win.
Nice.
I don't remember that joke word for word, but a good amount of it. I told it to him over there. He found it funny. And I meant that to the tour guide,
That was
so.
really good. Absolutely really good. My grandpa was a big Cubs fan. And of course, he passed away not too long ago, but he
R.I.P.
raised me as a Cubs fan. So that's where I get my love for Chicago sports, even the Bears. It comes from him.
Yeah.
Same with the Cubs. The biggest thing
Walter Payton. Oh, go ahead.
I love Walter Payton too.
May he rest in peace.
Biggest thing I will say, Wrigleyville, the environment there, it's special.
I bet.
If you go to a Cubs game, go pay a visit to Wrigleyville too. It's worth it.
I bet.
Special
You get free
atmosphere.
gum?
We did stop at a bar and got a drink
I get what
after
you're
the
getting
game.
at, though.
Plenty of places to do that.
Did you go to a day game or a night game at Wrigley?
It was a day game.
Yes.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Got to see all the sights. It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
People watch?
Yeah. All right.
Not really.
I guess one final question I'll ask you before we move on to talking about our subjects is name a sports related memory. Like it could be anything, like a game you went to or even like a sporting event that you like or a sport you played. Name a sports related memory that has shaped your life, if any.
Wow. Oh, that is a great question. And I'll have to say it was probably the 84 World Series for me. The Tigers. I was a huge Tigers fan when I was a kid. And much bigger than I am now.
I mean, it's kind of hard to watch the team these days.
I like the team now. Wait a minute.
But with that series, I did not live here in the state at that time. My family had moved south, and so we lived in Florida. And it kind of just reminded me of home. So that was really special. And plus to see all your favorite players. I mean, that team was stacked. And just to see them all play and win the World Series was phenomenal. It just solidified being a Tigers fan for me for life.
Nothing
Yeah.
like it. Being able to see them and winning a game or two and root to that big. And that was a really great Tigers team, too.
It was.
No
it
question.
really was.
I mean, when you win the old NL East, from start to finish, no questions.
No question. No. Absolutely.
68 Tigers.
Yeah.
That was the most incredible thing because the riots were going on and I was at a
history right
Catholic
there.
school, and back then you had the games during the day. They was just on regular television in black and white. And so we're like so mad because we couldn't watch the game. And the nuns brought televisions, and they were huge Tiger fans.
They brought them into the classroom?
Yes, so we
that's
were
cool.
actually, every class we went into, we got to watch the game on these little black and white televisions, about this big and stuff. And it was amazing. I was shocked because, I mean, it was just fantastic.
Because that nun was just beating you with a ruler a few minutes ago, and now she's letting you watch TV.
Yeah,
I can see why it's shocking.
Shocking, I know.
and the funny thing was Alex DeVecchio's daughter went to school with us. So somehow we got on that, and we were talking to her, and she's telling us, and we're like, yeah, so we don't believe you because, and the next day she came in with autographed photos from her dad.
No.
And I was like, oh, man. I was like, yeah. Anyways, that was my big sports thing going.
That's
Kind
really
of cool. And then if I would have been born in 57 instead of 58, I could have watched the Lions be in a championship game.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, that's
Is that the
true.
championship?
Most of that.
I hope so.
Because
I mean, when you mentioned DeVecchio's daughter, Alex DeVecchio's daughter. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the one at Michigan doubting being classmates with Steve Eiserman's daughter.
It's true. It's about right.
Yeah.
I ended up,
Some things haven't changed.
I ended up dating her later in life, anyways. After
Did you?
yes,
It's not like
Oh,
Okay.
look at you,
we'll-
Casanova.
yeah, right.
Nice to hear that from that perspective, your guys' take on that question. And it's really nice to kind of have
See
kind
that
of
I'm
someone
way
tell.
older than he is.
right. Yeah, yeah.
So it's nice to hear like a story from like an event that happened long before I was even born on this earth.
Likewise.
I want to give you guys kudos for
Yeah, hear stories from the olden days. You know,
long before some of us exist.
back in the 19th century,
Basically.
20th century, not 19th. Oh my God, I just made it.
1900s.
I just made it 200 years old.
It's crazy to think. To think next year when his will be the 10th year of his team, of Jake's team winning the World
I used to play
Series.
catch with double
Is it
day.
10 years since the Cubs won?
It's gonna be
next
next
year will
year.
be 10 years.
Oh my
2026.
gosh, man! Only 90 more to go. You're right. Getting
Only 90
closer.
more years.
Do you remember playing catch with double day? So, Abner, throw the ball.
It did take the Cubs in total 108 years, so I guess maybe I still have like 99 more to go.
Oh, yeah.
Down by 100 total years.
Yeah, well, with medical science, you'll probably be alive still when we see it, so you'll be all right.
Yep, life as a Cubs fan. Tyler, do you have any other questions you'd like to ask these two?
Well, not that I can really think of, really.
All right.
I met Gordie Howe, and he was the nicest man in the planet.
I've once met Ted Lindsay.
Oh, Ted
also a
was-
great guy, too.
Me too.
Yes,
I
I
met
met
Ted
him
Lindsay
at
once. Also, a great guy.
At the hardware store.
I was at the once at the Ted Lindsay Foundation dinner and won an award and got to go down, use some cash money to go. I came with to go down to Daytona.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
And also saw Tigers a spring training game too there down Lake Linzo.
Ted was a great guy, wasn't he?
He was a great guy.
Terrible Ted, but hey, great for the autism community.
Amazing hockey player, too.
Yeah, a brute.
He was production line, the second one, with Gordie Howe.
And he was a good enforcer too.
Said disable, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have met some pretty famous athletes then.
Yeah, I've rubbed some shoulders with some guys.
I peed next to Kurt Gibson during the Super Bowl.
I peed on Kurt Gibson. Oh, I'm kidding. I didn't. I didn't.
Okay,
I did not do that.
That was
Disclaimer, he did not do that. It's a tall tale.
okay, and I mean, like personally for me, I have seen Mickey Redmond twice. I once at the Joe Coker softball tournament and at the Ted Lindsay Foundation event. when you wore that. I've seen Dylan Larkin, Dan Petrie, and various other Del Coker as well, and other players at that event.
That's great, man.
I got to play hockey against Mickey Redmond, so
Hey, that's an experience.
I would love to meet Mickey Redmond. He's one of
He
my
was
favorites.
funny.
He's a great guy.
somebody
Great
tripped
Detroit Red
him.
Wing, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seriously.
he was funny as heck playing against. Anyways, cool.
Seriously, we as fans, Detroit fans, would be lucky to have him and Ken Daniels as our announcing crew. One of the best in the league among local announcers.
I agree.
Here's something amazing about Mickey Redmond was the first 50-goal scorer for the Detroit Red Wings.
Wow.
What?
What?
Gordie Howe never scored 50 goals.
What?
Get out of town.
Is this for real?
No, seriously,
real.
get out of town. Go.
So what Gordie Howe did was, the Gretzky did all this stuff. Gordie scored 49 goals, the most he ever scored.
Wow.
No
It's still
kidding.
a lot of goals, though, but that's something. Even I'm blown away by that. I thought Gordie Howe, who's known as Mr. Hockey, I thought for sure he would have been a 50-goal scorer.
Yeah, me too.
But you know what the Gordie Howe hat trick is, don't you?
Considering I'm from Chicago, I would not.
Is it when he scores a goal, trips you, and punches you in the face?
A goal and assist in a fight.
I was saying that stat myself.
Perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, I've got nothing on you guys in terms of like athletes, Matt. In terms of like famous people, Matt. Back when I was a NASCAR fan, like a big NASCAR fan, I had the fortune of going to MIS or Michigan International Speedway in 2014. I met Jack Roush and had close contact with one of his drivers, Greg Biffle by name.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And back in 2006, it was somewhat of but it was more of an autograph session. I actually got, back then, he was my favorite driver. I got Matt Kenseth's autograph at Ford Field back in 2006. That's an experience I'll never forget.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got a real quick story, NASCAR story. I was at a dinner party for Pontiac Motors. Years ago, I used to work for Pontiac Motors. And I was at this dinner party with NASCAR drivers, and Richard Petty was there.
How about that?
And he had the hat on, everything, and he was carrying around an empty champagne glass and spitting tobacco juice in it. Wow. Just walk around. Hey, how you doing?
Still has the cowboy hat on years later.
Yeah.
He has never lost his identity. He's still got that bright
He
smile.
may be up
Yeah.
in his 80s, going to 90, but that look never changes.
Yeah. Now, I have some NASCAR royalty in my family.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, my father's second cousin was Bobby Allison.
Whoa.
And Davey Allison, of course,
Yeah,
her
Davey
cousins.
Allison,
Yeah.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah.
Rest in
Great
peace to
racing
both
family,
members.
too.
Yes, great
Bobby
racing
was
family.
a legend.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Johnny
yeah.
wasn't too bad himself either. From what I
Wow.
heard.
Davey
Yeah.
Allison, we lost too soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only NASCAR story I have is
Wiki too.
I was working at Ford World headquarters, and they had Dale Jarrett's car there from Ford.
Oh, yeah.
They brought it in, and we were doing Ford One credit. We were putting some bullet resistant plastic in. And my buddy's wearing the number 3 shirt, black
Right.
3 shirt, right?
Yep, Earnhardt.
Earnhardt.
And
Yeah.
Etzel Ford walks in.
The Intimidator.
Yeah.
So Etzel Ford comes in to see, because he ran Ford credit, right?
Right.
You want to turn that shirt around? My buddy goes, no. And he goes, who are you? And it's Etzel Ford. He's like,
You're talking to a legend there, boy.
he turned his shirt inside out. He's like,
Man.
anyway.
Yeah, I don't care that he has a Dale Earnhardt shirt. That guy was a Chevy driver, and you're doing that in the headquarters of Ford. Bad idea.
Yeah, absolutely. My father was at Daytona when Earnhardt died. When on the number 3 turn, I think it was, wasn't it? Number 3 turn.
Yeah, turn 3.
They had no idea. Nobody at that track had any idea that he had passed. That the crash was that bad. It wasn't until they were on their way home, driving home, when they heard it on the radio, and they're like, "Oh my, gee whiz, unbelievable."
I was down in Florida for winter break that time in 2nd grade, and we were at Busch Gardens that day. And when I found out, when I got back to where we were staying in Inglewood, my Mark told me, and I was a Gordon fan, but I still cried because you don't want to see a driver get killed.
No, absolutely not.
really sad.
Don't.
Absolutely not.
No,
Crashes happen, and that's
Yeah.
and that's fun and exciting. But when it's deadly, yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, this is real. You know.
Absolutely.
He made NASCAR kind of fun too.
The Intimidator, as he was called.
Well, yeah, I suppose you could call it that. He made it fun.
He really did. What
Yeah.
he says is
Yeah,
true.
he
Like,
did. Yeah.
a lot of people watch NASCAR because of Dale Earnhardt.
Sure.
Due to his
because-
popularity.
yeah,
How watching
Still
people go
popular
around in
years
circles,
later.
it's like, okay.
yeah.
I don't remember much from that day when I was young. I just remember my mother telling me that, hey, this so-and-so died in this crash. And I remember seeing like a replay of it on TV, but that's about all I remember. I was
Yeah.
kind of too young at that time.
And the replay, you're like, how? But it turns out, he just wasn't wearing the proper safety equipment.
Open face helmet,
Yeah.
Didn't
not
something just
properly
happen?
seatbelted.
Yeah.
It's going to relate
Probably
to.
not
Yeah.
advice, but
Horrible situation.
yeah.
Well, it's interesting that we're talking about that because that's where our first subject of the day leads us to.
What a segue!
We're right on topic. So, there are days in sports and motorsports across where we are kind of reminded just how dangerous some of these sports really are, and in particular, auto racing.
Absolutely.
So, can we see that clip, please?
Here we go.
So this was a crash from the Daytona 500, the 60 of Ryan Preece. Keep in mind, he's not on top of anyone. Like, that car is flying in the air, and this is in slow motion. This is a product of some of the most dangerous racing in the world, especially at Daytona International Speedway.
Yep.
At what point of the race was this?
This was with about, if I'm correct, this was under 50 laps to go.
Oh,
Yeah, it was getting really good towards the end.
He's not going to win.
oh no.
That Ford Mustang was destroyed.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
an honor.
But here's a replay.
Submariner.
Yep. So literally, he's not on top of the 43. Ryan Preece.
He's catching wind.
Yep. There's wind coming underneath the car, and it's making the car look like it's taking off like a jet plane.
And you can see the roof flaps aren't really working well either at all. They clearly aren't doing their job.
I wonder if the guy next to him could see him doing that.
Yeah, it's a
probably
lot-
imagine probably not because with the Honda device you're wearing nowadays, your view is very restricted.
That's true. You probably heard a lot of things. It was probably a lot of this. Whoa! So
He was holding on for dear life.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And the important thing is that Priest did get to walk away from that wreck unharmed.
Yep.
which
There is
what we
video of that
want.
too.
So were they on an open stretch, or were they coming into a turn on that crash?
They were coming into turn 3 when that like they were on the back stretch leading into turn 3 when that happened. There was
Okay.
an accident that happened in front of him, and Ryan Preece from another replay, he got tagged by another car, and his car got hit to a certain point where air got caught underneath it, and so his Ford Mustang went up like this for a while and then
Oh.
rolled over.
So he was hit and it lifted his car.
Yeah,
Is that-
to a degree,
okay.
like the air.
Enough for the wind to catch it underneath.
Absolutely,
Whoa.
aerodynamics.
Yeah.
Gary, I got a kind of a question on that. So I took my kids to MIS and I wanted to show them. Mark Martin was my favorite driver, and I go, there he is, right, and you can't even see the cars. So when you're watching, when you're watching it, how come it looks like you can watch? There's no way to watch it when you're sitting there.
Well, it's all about perspective.
But I
The
mean,
closer
on
you are to the
television-
action, the faster it is.
But I mean, on television, do they slow it down or something?
No. It's just the cameras are back. It's all perspective. The closer you are to the action, the faster it is, and the harder it is to pay attention. So that you get further back perspective, everything slows down. Even though they're going 200 miles an hour, it's just slow enough for you to see it just because of the distance.
Yeah, that perspective makes you realize, oh, they're going slow. Which isn't actually a good perspective per se, but now, granted, you can get a good view of the cars at the track if you have pit pass or you watch them during yellow laps.
Yes.
Cautions and what have you.
It's like sitting on behind the net when the 120 mile an hour slap shot. You go, it's like boom.
Yeah, you're like, whoa. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
I was going to say, the first time I actually ever went to MIS back in 2006, I actually had the fortune of getting up close to the catch fence when the cars
Did
actually
you really?
rolling by. And they are super fast and super loud when they just roar right by.
Yeah.
Dang.
And our seats for that race, they were in, I believe, the second or third row. And it was just amazing.
And you could feel it too,
Yeah.
can't you?
It's so loud. But
yeah.
that experience is incredible.
Tony
bet.
Stewart and Dale Earnhardt Jr. were there, and they got in a fight. So
Smoke.
it was on a Saturday. So
Sounds
it was,
about right.
Yeah.
It was whatever they call
Tony
it.
Stewart? Yeah, sounds about
Probably
right.
well, then Bush series.
Typical
The
Tony
Bush
Stewart.
series, yeah. So they were doing the Bush series, and with Mark Martin and him. But it's amazing what they've done for drivers to keep them alive like that.
So, who was the driver again on that?
Ryan Priest.
Ryan Priest.
Ryan Priest.
And he walked away.
Yes.
Yep,
And
that's the
thing-
second
and-
time
Yes.
he has walked away from a wreck like that. Last year, he also had another flip, same track, and he walked away from that one, and that one was even more nasty. He had like
didn't learn.
2 black eyes.
Oh, my God.
And the crazy thing is, the grass that used to be in that area was taken out, and now he still flips.
Please tell me they removed the grass just for him.
I feel in light of that impact, I imagine.
Yeah,
But
probably.
still, it's just crazy to think.
Wow.
50 laps to go, too.
That's when things get crazy in the
Yeah.
Daytona
Yeah.
500.
People start moving for position.
Yep, then
Yep.
someone makes one wrong move, and there's a big wreck,
Yeah.
just like that.
I wonder how far they drive. Miles.
Goodness.
It's 500 miles.
Or the 500-mile race.
200 laps total. It's a lot
Yeah.
of race distance.
Well, he didn't go 500 miles.
Clearly not.
Did not finish.
Nope.
But
That's
more
a bummer.
importantly, he walked away.
Yeah.
That's the great
Yes.
news for those of you who were concerned about Ryan Priest. And, amazing thing is, there's been a lot of these kind of wrecks, and he keeps returning to the track. I mean, there are drivers who you could say walk away from this, not that I can name any. And you don't blame them for walking away, especially after a scary experience like that. But Ryan Priest, hey, he's going to be racing next week at Atlanta, so it's good to see that.
And you know who else is going to be racing? Frankie Muniz.
Frankie Muniz?
Yeah,
From-
I've heard of that guy.
Yes, he's from the old sitcom Malcolm in the Middle.
Uh-huh.
He was one of the little kids in Malcolm in the Middle. He's a huge racing car fan. He was racing midgets when he was a kid, and now he is a NASCAR driver.
Wow.
And he came in, I think he came in like 10th in Daytona.
Good for him.
Yes.
Like in the trucks or something, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Holy
obviously
cow.
not Cubs, but I mean, yeah, he played. I remember he was one of Timmy's friends. He played with one of Timmy's friends, Chester, in Fairly Odd Parents as well.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely.
Man.
That's how I know about Frankie Muniz. And of course, Agent Cody. I think it was Agent Cody Banks.
Agent Cody Banks, that's right.
Yep, I'm aware of it. Not that I'm aware of my.
I like the
say,
Fairy
but
Godparents.
still.
Fairy Odd Parents.
Guy's a NASCAR driver now.
Wow.
Time flies. I remember that show like when
boy.
I was in like middle school.
Yeah.
Time flies. Wow. Did something I never thought I'd hear today, but
know.
I didn't
You
think
knew
so either.
that.
I was watching ESPN and they were interviewing. I was like, what?
what?
Cody Banks?
He went from a secret junior NCAA operative to NASCAR.
Oh my goodness. So anyway, to close off this topic, so in terms of auto racing, that's been the big story. Besides William Byron's Daytona 500 was the scary wreck that Ryan Priest went through, and like I said, walked away unharmed. And NASCAR and other motorsports, they are continuing. This is a reminder. There's going to be accidents like this, and you know what? Each and every motorsport is working so hard to ensure that safety is the number one priority. And
That they are.
And NASCAR, they're going to learn a lot from this work. They're going to look at it and figure out, okay, what do we need to fix so that cars don't take off like jet planes again.
Yep.
Put drivers in harm's way.
Yeah, it gets safer every year. It really does. I mean, the difference between the cars now and the cars when I first started watching NASCAR, unbelievable. Unbelievable how much safer they are and faster.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and not to mention the wall nowadays, there's a lot of the places you have safer barriers too.
Yeah. Yep.
So you can't, hitting a hard concrete wall is just painful.
Yeah.
You don't want that anymore.
Still a dangerous sport,
Absolutely.
but yeah.
Not losing people anymore.
Yeah.
Yep,
If
that's
that
the
was
most
one-
important thing.
Yeah, if there's one thing Dale did more than anything, in a way, it's ensuring that tragedy, we don't have such a black Sunday anymore.
Yeah, and thankful for that too, because
So
what a
much.
waste if that wasn't the case.
Absolutely.
Ryan Newman's crash from 3 years back would have been a lot more worse.
Scary stuff. Who's ready to talk about some spring training? You guys up for that?
Oh Man,
Bergman's an asshole, but
But going to Boston.
I'm sorry, I
for the
didn't mean to
record-
say that.
You're good. You're good.
It's all fine. I mean, John Boyd's in Detroit. For those of you out of the loop, Alex Bregman ultimately did go to the Boston Red Sox and down the Tigers.
Red Sox. Good grief.
we're going to cream them.
Well, you see, is it catchers and pitchers still?
Full squads.
Full squad now?
Yeah, full squads. The Cubs and Dodgers just started 2 games yesterday and today because they start the season with 2 in Tokyo.
Oh, that's
And
right. Yeah.
Because they had to start early for that,
Yeah.
But the Tigers start in Florida tomorrow against the Phillies.
Oh, okay. Oh man, boy, we're rolling right into it, aren't we?
That we are, and we will.
Holy smokes!
In late March, we will also be starting the season in LA against the Dodgers when the Dodgers start their U.S. and they're playing in the U.S.
Oh, nice. I went to a Dodgers game last year, Tigers-Dodgers last year. Every year, my wife and I probably go to about 5 or 6 games, and for some reason it is. You're going to like this. For some reason, it's always the White Sox. And so last year, when I was looking at tickets, I went, we're not going to a White Sox game. Tired of them watching them play the White Sox. Because not only I'm tired of watching the White Sox, but every time they play the White Sox beat them for some reason. And it was driving me crazy. So I said, but the Dodgers are coming. And I want to go see the Dodgers. I mean, Ohtani.
How can you now pass up the opportunity to see him?
Right, exactly. And it was a blast. Loved it. But that was last year, and this is this year. New season, and I don't know. What do you guys think? How do you think they're going to turn out this year?
I feel like it could be a surprise contention. I mean, no one.
You think so?
I mean, who knows? We'll see. I mean, obviously, you got 160 games to determine how it goes because, unlike the NFL, you can't say this is a marathon, not a sprint. But here's the thing: no one expected the Tigers in the playoffs last year.
Not in a million years.
I did.
You did?
Yes, I did.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did because I do fantasy sports baseball, and the year before I thought they were good.
No kidding.
Yeah, but I noticed that they actually started to almost get a bullpen, and that's the most important thing in baseball is to have a bullpen and a closer. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to say, but they seem to have that kind of, and there were spurts of maybe the different closers. I don't know what's going to happen this year.
I don't know. I really wish they would build up around Scooble more.
Oh yeah.
And to think, in the DS, we were 1 game away from a potential matchup with the Yankees, and maybe getting there a little more, being their kryptonite. Because think about it, amongst the teams in the AL Central the Yankees have faced, aside from the White Sox in the playoffs, they have a good record against Cleveland. They have a good record against Kansas City. They have a good record against the Twins. Not so much with the Tigers in the past few appearances.
I would have loved it. As my mother says, we do not root for the Stankies. So.
I didn't even know that. How did I not think of that as a nickname? I just called them
Steve
Yanks.
Courtney mentioned that name a lot.
Oh my God.
Talking about them in sports hard thing on WJR, but besides that, it's not just him.
Well, you do have to think about it. Like football, defenses win titles, right? Baseball, I think the same thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to have the sticks.
I mean, if you shut down the best hitters,
You know,
if you shut down the best,
you got to get on base.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but I'm also saying
But I get what you're saying. I understand that, and I agree
championship.
because I love pitching games. Love pitching games.
Yeah.
But man, if you don't have the sticks, at least 2 or 3 really good sticks, forget about it. Forget it. You're not going anywhere.
yeah, right.
You
but
got a point there.
Yeah, I do agree with that, but
You're darn right you do.
but they don't have catchers that hit anymore, so.
That's true too.
Yeah,
It used to be the catcher was the hitter, and now they.
No, it's the pitchers that used to be the hitters.
No, I mean the catchers.
Oh,
they're-
okay, yeah.
They hit in the 200s.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're meaning.
Because my fantasy baseball, it's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, and the Tigers
I see what you
struggle
mean.
offensively. So.
Rogers was all right. He played first base too, though.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Anyway, Jake, you got anything to say?
Yeah, before I guess I move on to the Cubs, I'd like to say this. Okay, I think the Tigers, I think they'll be a playoff team for sure this year. I think they have built a lot off of what they did last season. I think for sure they've got some great pieces in place, and I think they'll be a playoff team for sure. I don't know like where in the rankings they'll be, but I think they'll make the postseason. I want to add this. So as Tyler mentioned, he and I, along with his family, we went and saw the Tigers and the Cubs at Wrigley Field last year.
Right.
And I like to think that both of us kind of got a good trade. I got to see my Cubs win, and in exchange, Tyler got to watch his team play in the postseason. So I kind of thought, all right, that's a good trade for Tyler.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good trade.
I kind of think to myself, Tyler was okay with with his Tigers losing to my Cubs if it meant his team got in the postseason.
I mean, we got the opportunity to beat up the White Sox 4 games in a row afterwards.
You're darn right.
So if you can just keep going to that punching bag at the bottom of AL Central basement.
Oh, I love that. A punching bag.
God. Guaranteed rate field was so boring compared to Wrigley Field. Like there was so much life at Wrigley, but we go to the White Sox Stadium and
Oh, well, the Sox just stunk horribly last year.
Yeah,
I mean,
come on. When you set the worst record in MLB history for Boston,
right.
And it happens while the Tigers clinch the wild card spot.
Ouch. Insult to injury.
Yeah.
And I was going to add this. For the record, in case you guys are wondering, I actually do not care about the White Sox. In my heart,
Most
only
Cub
one.
fans don't.
I'm a Cubs fan. Cubs fan all the way through. I do not care about the White Sox.
Yeah.
Pro tip, Jake, don't date a girl who roots for that team.
1900s?
You talking about the Black Sox scandal?
Yeah, 1919.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's another reason I actually dislike the White Sox because that history is always there. I mean, they threw away the World Series. If I was rooting for a team and they threw away the World Series, I would not root for them again. Don't throw away the championship. No, just because you want some more money.
Come on.
So I used to live in Boston, and we used to stay. I lived north of Boston. When I was in the service, I was stationed in the Boston area.
Right.
And my friends and I would go down to Boston every weekend for baseball games, hockey games, basketball games. Great town for sports. Great. The old Garden, fantastic. But we used to stay at this hotel right next to Wright next to Fenton, and it was called the Buckminster Hotel. Okay, and it was a great little hotel. No big deal, right? 6 floors, no big deal. But it was right by the park. So a couple years ago, my buddy Dan and I, we head to Boston for a hockey game, and we said, let's go by the Buck. Let's go see the Buck. And we go there, and we see a placard on the side of the hotel. It's not a hotel anymore. It's they're condos now. But a placard on there said, this is the location where the 1918 White Sox decided to throw the World Series.
Whoa.
And I was like,
that locate? That's the locate.
that's where they did it.
Holy
That's where
cow.
they decided.
That is insane.
Yes.
It's a piece of history. Then.
And I was like, we were going to this hotel for years and we never knew that.
Wow.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yep, like you said, really cool, but that is insane. You're staying on the spot of some of the darkest moments in sports history.
Yeah.
If you're a White Sox.
If you're a White Sox fan. Right.
Right.
Who did they lose
Jake,
to?
Yeah, Jake. Like I was trying to say earlier, do not date a girl that is a White Sox fan.
Well, I'll pity her. She's a White Sox fan, but still very nice.
Anyways.
Well,
I'm just giving you a hard time, of course.
you guys probably want to know what I'm thinking in terms of the Cubs, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, by all means.
All right. In terms of the Cubs, so
They're
there are
in the
things.
zoo, aren't they?
What's that?
Aren't the Cubs in the zoo?
Well, maybe they are right
Funny.
now. The zoo in Arizona or something.
They're out on Mesa right now.
So anyway, in terms of the Cubs, the thing I'm keeping an eye on the most is some of their free agent signings. Justin Turner and Nicky Lopez, those are guys they signed for first and second base. Those were some places or weaknesses in the Cubs last year where I thought they struggled there. Like
Right.
a lot of hits went through first and second base. Pitching, of course, was a huge problem. So they got guys like Matthew Boyd, Conria, and I think Chris Flexen is his name. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on those 3 guys, mainly bullpen and pitching, because the Cubs, I think, they did not make the playoffs a lot in part because their bullpen was just not good enough.
Yeah.
The Tigers had Matthew Boyd.
Boyd's a nice pickup. That's a
Yeah.
really nice pickup.
I forgot he was with Detroit.
Yep.
So that's another one we stole from you guys.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, get ready for that. Yeah, boy. Yeah, strikeout.
I have a story,
Whenever
but
he
I
strikes
can't-
out, just get ready for that one, Jake.
And to build on something you guys mentioned earlier, you got to have the sticks to make the postseason. That's absolutely accurate. And that's another problem with the Cubs.
Yeah.
That last season, there were too many. They were inconsistent. Too many games where the sticks were just too quiet.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful this year, what they did in free agency, they'll have a lot more firepower, a lot more, or stick power, if you want to say that. So those are some things that I'm going to be paying attention to or thinking about in spring training for the Cubs. What will their free agents bring to the table? Can they give them enough to make the postseason in 2025? Those are things I'm going to be watching out for, especially those guys that I named there. Those are guys I'm keeping an eye out for.
Did they change any coaching staff at all with Chicago?
I know. I'm think Council's still their manager.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
I think they kept their manager.
Yeah, and well, I was just wondering because for me last year, the Cubs. The problem I thought with the Cubs, aside from their pitching, was they were impatient at the plate. They were seriously impatient at the plate. I mean, those guys were swinging at everything. It seemed.
I actually kind of agree. That's another reason for the bats going cold. They just weren't timing the swings correctly, or
Yeah.
they were just getting frustrated because they weren't hitting anything. And when you get frustrated, sometimes you make too quick of a decision.
Yeah.
And what you're mentioning then is they're swinging too fast because they're trying to get that hit and they're swinging too fast. And
Just
stalling that.
yeah. One of them got a new hitting coach.
Coaching definitely.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully they.
Why don't you go down there and show them how it's done?
I could do that golfing to keep your head down. I don't know that.
Hey-oh.
Oh boy.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh boy.
All right.
Indeed.
Well, yeah. Maybe, so do you think the Cubs, well, you don't know. You're going to be keeping an eye on spring training to see how they're going to do for the regular season.
Yeah. I think before we
You're not making any predictions yet.
Yeah, not ready to do that just yet. I want to kind of gather some more analysis or do some scouting on the Cubs.
Yeah.
Then I'll.
Yeah, we got
That's a good
we
idea.
got a little time until then. I mean, and even then, the Cubs and Dodgers have those 2 games in Tokyo in the middle of March. So
I hope they both suck. So
Oh, I kind of like the Dodgers. I love watching the Dodgers.
The Dodgers,
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
they drive me nuts. So,
I'm sorry.
like I said, just keeping an eye out on a few players for the Cubs just to see how they
Didn't
do.
the Dodgers used to be in New York?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn?
Brooklyn.
yeah,
no.
Giants were in New York
Jackie
as well.
Robinson.
That's right. Yep.
I mean, that team name became because of the trolleys back then in Brooklyn.
I was just
Trolley
thinking about
Dodgers.
the Avalanche.
Yeah, that's right.
I was thinking about the Avalanche and how they used to be the North Stars. I'm like,
Nordiques.
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
just like, what, imagine being a sports fan and your team just ups and leaves. I don't know.
I feel for the St.
It's a crazy world.
Try being St. Louis. They've been bitter about the Rams for a decade.
Right.
Leaving to go to L.A.
No, I don't blame them.
Yeah,
I don't blame them at all.
this kind of stuff happens.
They're not expanding baseball now, are they?
No.
Not that I am aware of.
They're waiting until the Rays get a new stadium. Good luck with that. And the Athletics so fine move to Vegas
that's
happens.
right. I forgot
At
to
the
go to
expense
Vegas.
of the 4 folks in Oakland.
Yeah.
Ugh. No one likes you, John Fisher.
No. Wow. I forgot. I forgot all about that.
Yeah. So sports is getting to be it's so difficult to watch nowadays to find out where you can watch what you want to see.
Well, they
kinda
just
true.
announced that the Tigers, the Wings, and the Lions will be on. And Pistons?
Well, not the Lions. The Lions games are all would be on OD.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Yeah. So,
NFL games are not locally produced except for outside of the preseason.
that's right. Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers are going to be on Amazon Prime.
FanDuel Sports Network is an Amazon Prime add-on.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
For
but
$19.99 a month.
There you go. Now you'll be able to watch all those
I
games.
know, but
You can still download get it through FanDuel proper, like what I just did.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you don't have.
But
an
I
app.
mean, for young kids to be able to watch it and just be able to see it, as a family, and you don't have. It's gotten so expensive for everything in sports related.
Think about even cable nowadays. A lot of the RSNs are being bumped to the higher tier.
Yeah, they are.
And I get the reasoning, but still.
But you can watch soccer anywhere.
Well, MLS you could watch. I mean, Apple TV has all the games.
You walk by wherever, and the bank's got the soccer game on. You're like, what the hell?
I saw a soccer game on a microwave.
Nuclear sports event. Put into the time. Beep.
But I've heard it's hurting basketball because
Yeah, well, that's not what's hurting basketball. What's hurting basketball is a lack of defense. But yes, you're right.
100% agree with that. Well, and that's why I actually prefer the college brand to
Yes.
the NBA, because there's actually defense in the NBA. Well,
Yes.
Not the NBA, but college.
Yeah, and besides, I feel like the postseason in college basketball is a lot more fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, March Madness. Nothing
Yeah.
like it.
Yep, love it. Favorite time of the year.
Love it.
yeah, my Michigan team's doing good.
Hey, Michigan's leading the Big Ten, though.
Yes, they are. I
They're
love
poised to
Michigan.
win it.
Yeah, don't they play state tonight?
Yep, they got
Yeah,
that game on
that's right,
Fox
big game.
tonight.
I'll let you guys share some thoughts on that if you guys want to talk about Michigan State, Michigan tonight.
Well, I'm not a Big Ten fan, so
Huh?
I don't have any thoughts.
Okay,
How about you, Jim?
I got a lot of thoughts.
Go for it.
Yeah.
No, I love Michigan, but that's a huge game. Besides the talent on that, just Michigan and Michigan State hating each other. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how the teams are. If one's better than the other, it's just they played.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It is an exciting game.
Yes.
Should be a great game.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
well, except for the
One
matchup.
coaches turned that around really quick.
Yeah, Dutch teammate was a good hire, and I will say the only time I could have found an exception to that was after the shooting at State a few years back. But besides that, yeah, there's definitely not a love lost between those two in-state rivals otherwise.
And State's always seemed to have the better basketball team in the last few years.
And they got Tom Izzo. That guy
He's
is
amazing.
A
What a
legend.
nice man.
Yeah, it's a good
And
program.
even Michigan fans, they can't deny how good he is.
No, and he's such a nice man. I met him, and he was helping. We did some special spaces rooms for terminally ill kids, and he donated a whole bunch of stuff and just came to the family, and it was pretty neat.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Gentlemen, yeah, let's go.
He's a good guy.
And
Yeah,
the funny
and
thing
just
was
made history, too.
Yeah.
the kid, the parents were Michigan fans, and the kid was a State fan. So,
But hey,
I just thought that was cool.
That is good.
Tough love in the family, then.
Yeah, and you just said he just made history.
Yeah, he just passed Bobby Knight on the Big Ten all-time, or in terms of Big Ten conference.
Throwing
He-
chairs? No.
Not the twins. Well, Bobby Knight did throw chairs, but
I don't know.
Tom Izzo is now the all-time winningest
No
coach in
kidding.
Big Ten history.
Well, congratulations
wow,
to Tom
yeah,
Izzo.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
phenomenal.
Congratulations are in order to him on that
Yeah,
one.
yep.
Great coach.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great coach.
That's a big deal.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Is there anything else you want to talk about before I move on to the game that happened last night between USA and Canada?
Oh, my gosh, that was exciting. I loved every second out of
Except
it.
for the end of it.
Yeah, there's that, but
That was a great hockey game.
It was
After
a great
Bennett
hockey game.
scored, it was, yeah.
Listen, first of all, hockey is the greatest sport that was ever created.
Yes.
Agreed.
We'll just put that out there. That's where I'm coming from on this. So
Canadian. If
It's
one
not
good
boring
thing Canada
ever.
gave us, it's that sport.
exactly that and maple syrup,
Yum.
love it. But
Love maple
Not
syrup,
sure
too.
about poutine, but
the NHL really did something here this season, by foregoing the All-Star break for a All-Star game that nobody cares about and creating this 4-nation face-off. Holy smokes, man! It got people buzzing, and the 4-nation thing. What's great about it, as far as I'm concerned, is that it broadens the audience overseas. Because they have the IHL over there, and other hockey organizations over there.
Yeah.
They're not big. It's not big in NHL, but when you break them up into nations, all of a sudden those nations are going to start watching NHL as well. And not only that, but I heard a lot of people who normally don't watch hockey talking about those hockey games. And I thought NHL, they're brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, and I hope some others like the NBA will follow suit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a fun thing to watch. Yeah, it was only just the four nations, and when you think about it, it's just a preview for what we're getting in Milan next year.
Yes.
Now the NHL players are going back to the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, for one-off at a preview, it sure did not disappoint.
Oh, it was so much fun. I loved every minute of this series, every minute of it. And of course, to see the U.S. and Canada play in the championship. Of course, you're pulling for the U.S., man. You want them to win. You want them to win. But, even with Canada winning, hey, man.
Well,
It would be like the U.S. Olympic basketball team losing to France if Canada lost. So you want Canada to win, even though you're pulling for the U.S.
No,
you're like, if Canada loses, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for Canada, and it's going to be bad for hockey.
Trudeau even on social
Molson
media
family
that no one can take the game away from us.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I said that we had to be thankful to Canada for that game, for the hockey in the first place.
Yes.
But you could tell in the overtime period when the USA came down and gave everything, and Larkin was like feeding it out in front of the net, and they weren't capitalizing. I'm just like, they just gave everything, and Canada's just looking for that little, and bam, I was like, I didn't want to know.
Canada was ready. Canada was ready to take advantage of any situation that would come their way.
Yeah.
And it was in that OT. There were some questionable moves on the ice that the U.S. players were doing and leaving hot Canadian players wide open to do whatever they want. It was inevitable.
Well, they just figured they were going to get a goal right off the bat, so
yeah.
that didn't happen.
Yeah, I feel like the U.S. kind of got cocky there because of that.
I think they should have played Larkin a lot more. Larkin was hot. And
Larkin was on the third line?
But what's his name got hurt, and they should have put Larkin. He did a breakaway. It was like, anyways.
He had a heck of a time in this series, and good for him.
But you know what the weird thing is? Just going back to the Detroit Red Wings in the beginning of the year, you can see the difference between college hockey and NHL hockey because the coach was a college hockey coach.
Yes.
And
Milan.
so there's a big transition to get into NHL. I don't know, like in basketball, the transition to get into the NBA, I don't know if it's that big of a transition because there seems like a lot of young kids are coming out of high school and playing basketball.
They are, yes, they are.
But to get into NHL, you don't go from
high school to NHL?
Yeah, or
could you imagine that? Oh my
or
goodness.
the college, maybe there is, but the college, there's a big transition. It's a whole different game. I was just wondering how that goes with we've kind of incorporated, like you were saying, the IHL, the international hockey, where we're playing. European hockey's kind of got involved in our hockey. But they're still bashing
KHL.
bodies.
Yes, they are.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Finland's got a league. Finland's got a league. There's a lot of hockey leagues out there in Europe.
Yeah, and you could. European play is a lot more finesse. There's a lot more finesse involved in European play, whereas the brute force comes from the North American players.
Right.
Yeah. That's what makes it fun.
Yes. Especially when a hockey game breaks out after all those fights.
Oh my goodness! That first Canadian-U.S. Game. What was it? 9 seconds, 3 fights.
Yeah, the first
Yeah, there was nothing like that when they played last night, which I wasn't surprised about.
I wasn't either. I didn't expect.
Again,
them.
the Americans were playing in hostile territory. They knew their answer was going to get booed. Might as well show them.
Give them something to boo.
You know what I haven't?
I knew we were going to boo the Canadian national anthem. I just knew it.
I haven't seen in a long time is back in the day they used to have Donnybrooks. So we used to play the Detroit Cops in hockey.
Yeah.
And the game would start, and then there would be both benches would empty, and we just have a brawl out on the ice. But
old-time hockey.
Yes, but I don't know. I can't think of the last time I seen bench emptying in the NHL.
You know what? Bloody Wednesday.
Was that
probably the last one.
Philadelphia? No,
No, that was Wings and the Avalanche.
Oh, yeah.
That's the last time I remember.
The McCarthy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
DMAC
I
fight.
don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen video footage.
Yeah.
They benches empty.
What a glorious day. You know what? We can go back to that first question you asked about sporting events that like change your life. That's one too. Holy
Yeah, forget
mackerel.
that. I mean, I know what
Imagine
you
if he
guys
was
talk
there.
about
Oh,
the
boy.
World Series.
I was
for the
there at that
Tigers,
game.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was the loudest I ever heard anything.
That was crazy. For a year, we sat there anticipating a payback, and it came. And it came gloriously. Oh, what a great moment that was. But that's the last time I saw a bench clearing brawl.
Yeah.
You know.
But
Of course, if you think about basketball, you have the Mouse and the Palace.
Oh,
well, the baseball, they've done it before, too.
Well, baseball, they do it every season.
Yeah, we don't want to take that out of sports.
No, we want them to kill each other for our entertainment.
as long as the refs are okay. That's right. And in the NHL, the refs are like, all right, just let it go. Let them have their
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Safety
and then
first.
you got a guy like Wes McCauley dramatically announcing that both players get 5 minutes each on the bench for fighting.
Fine.
Nice.
Really, that guy's awesome.
Anyway, I enjoyed the Four Nation face-off. I really enjoyed it, and I hope they do it again next year. And I imagine that it will be new nations, that they'll try to fit in there.
I hope so.
Maybe next year,
Sri Lanka.
when Russia isn't, screwing everything up over in Europe, they'll actually have a Russian team. We'll see.
We're probably gonna have to wait until government change.
Possibly, yeah.
Not to do anything,
Yeah.
but with what's going on, you just
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
feel awful for the NHL players right now. Situation they did not want.
Definitely not. I'm going to say this about it. Okay, I had a mix of emotions. I was disappointed at the outcome. Yeah, I wanted Team USA to win so badly. I was like, I felt like, okay, this is going to be our night. I had that feeling inside me. But I also kind of had that feeling, you know what? The longer this game goes on, the more that favors Canada. And sure enough, I was proven right there when Canada scored the game winner. Like, you just can't. Got to put it away. Bury the biscuit in the basket.
Bennett's goal was.
You're right. You're absolutely right. The longer it went on.
It was Bennett's goal.
Yeah.
Bennett's goal. He should have never been open there. They were playing so well, and he just all of a sudden, he was open. What was that?
That's what I'm talking about.
David
And
would not have
they
had
did give
that
him a little
overtime
too
goal
much
if that game time goal didn't happen in the first place.
Tie
Yeah.
the game.
I mean, not that a 2-1 victory lead is safe, mind you, because absolutely not.
right,
But still,
Definitely. But I will also say this at the same time, that's what hockey's all about.
Yes.
That is what I want to see. I wanted a really great game of hockey. And this felt like a game of the century.
Yes.
A game that is going to define the sport for years to come. This game this event lived up to the hype. That amazing. Great idea by the NHL. I absolutely love it. I only saw like the USA and Canada games. I'll have to catch next time they do this, I'll watch the whole thing. But
if they do it again, I mean,
I hope so.
all
They
I've
should.
heard it's a one-off, and that they're going back to the regular All-Star game stuff next year. But who knows?
do you remember
I don't know
any
how-
All-Star games?
And what?
Do you remember any All-Star
No,
games
of course
from
not.
anything?
And you know what else about the All-Star games? Tickets don't go for $1,000.
tickets were not cheap for this. Though.
No, they were not.
Like $2,300 from under. Oh,
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah. So I hope it. Well, I mean, let's face it. Money is the motivation for everything sports.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
And this tournament made a lot of money for a lot of people in hockey. It's coming back.
yeah, not just from Montreal and Boston, mind you.
Yeah. It's coming back. It's coming back.
I feel like when we see I'm sure the tournament, the final hit a million or so on ESPN, and who knows how much the numbers would have been on Sportsnet up in Canada.
Oh, no kidding.
It's the only way Toronto can get a trophy anyway.
Or Edmonton, because think about it, McDavid had played for that team for so long.
Any of those Canadian teams. When's the last time a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup?
Even a year
Montreal in
old.
92, I think.
93.
Montreal's got
92,
more
sorry.
Stanley Cups than all the other teams put together. So
Yeah, but when's the last time? You said 93?
Yeah.
93.
When Patrick Roy was their goaltender. Or Patrick Roy. St. Patrick.
I should have said this before we started the show.
Hated that
Of names you should not mention in my presence. But no.
Yeah, it's wow.
Patrick.
It was great. when
That
we
I've
beat
heard
them
too. I didn't know if it was.
11-0.
Yeah, he's from Quebec and all. So
Yeah.
Francophone pronunciation.
And he was great. He was great.
So there's no denying there. I mean,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Still
And
hate him
just
though.
think about he fell all the way from Montreal all the way down to Colorado in an avalanche. So,
I see what you did there, Jim.
Good grief.
and a team that he was from Quebec, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did he head over to Pittsburgh too? He played for Pittsburgh a little while, didn't he?
11 minutes or
Not
something.
that I remember, but I could be wrong.
I could be wrong too. I get a lot of things wrong. So
Yeah.
So do I. That's fine.
I'm not gonna-
In summary, just this whole thing, like both the games between Canada and the United States, it was beautiful. Being a guy who was a high school manager for his hockey team. Like when I was in high school, I was a manager for my high school's hockey team for 2 years, or my last 2 years in high school, and seeing that brand of hockey.
What
and
high school?
I went to Lakeland High School.
Same with
Oh,
him.
good. They got
Yep.
good teams there.
Yep, we won a regional championship
Yeah.
in 2012.
oh wow.
Yes.
Probably my favorite sports memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
So that it brought back, but seeing the Four Nations hockey tournament, those games, just that beautiful, beautiful brand of hockey, it reminded me a lot of my days in high school and kind of like why we do this. And to just see both of these two teams lay it out on the line. Both teams played extremely well in this game. They were evenly matched. They were right about it. Two evenly matched teams. Someone was going to win, someone was going to lose. And you know what? Both of these two teams, both the U.S. and Canada, the guys representing both countries, they did their absolute best, and
Canada
they honored
cheated.
both of their countries.
Yeah.
Canada.
I agree.
That's the thing I will remember the most from this, just the camaraderie, or whatever you want to say.
And PK Subban is a great announcer. I like,
He is. No, he is. You're right.
PK Subban was a great
Yeah.
hockey announcer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do have a story about that. I was at Salvation Army hanging out, and there was a thing that's sports thing, hockey thing, and it's autographed. I'm looking at it, and PK Subban. I'm like, holy
No kidding. Did you get it?
So I tried to talk him down. It was $1.50, but I guess I paid the full price. God, it was like crazy. Anyways, go ahead.
I was gonna say, hopefully we continue hopefully the NHL hockey, international hockey. I want to see more of this. I want to see more of this kind of hockey, more tournaments like this, because this is not just good for hockey. This is good for sports. This is good for the planet. Honestly, we should remember this for years to come. Like, write this down. This tournament, you know what? It's regardless of the outcome. Okay, some of us wanted the USA to win. I mean, our friends to the north, they wanted Canada to win. They got what they wanted. But you know what? It was a great hockey game.
And we got Dylan Larkin in the playoffs finally.
I mean, and Dylan Larkin played really well too.
I'm saying, I've been
All the players
praying for
played
this, and it's like, come on.
Well, quickly, the most shocking thing I heard during this tournament, the most shocking thing was that Dylan Larkin is a 10-year veteran of the Detroit Red Wings.
Yes.
And when I heard that, I just sat back in my chair and went, oh, my God.
He was like Yzerman when Yzerman came in.
Yeah.
It was the same thing with Yzerman. He was stuck with Jared Gallant.
Yep.
And Jared Gallant was a pylon. So
But it seems like just yesterday, Larkin was just joining the team.
I know.
Time flies. Isn't that great?
know.
He still feels like a young kid.
Yes.
But here
No.
he's still representing that
he's
Detroit
still one
team
of the
really well.
fastest hockey skaters there is.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep, and I'm proud to represent him and to meet him.
Absolutely.
When I have a Larkin jersey that signed, I'm saying that I've done great things for the city of Waterford as much as he's done.
Absolutely. You got to meet him and talk with
Exactly.
him. That was a really cool moment. I remember seeing that. I mean, I wasn't there with you we were in the same building, but we weren't in the same part of the building when that happened. But I saw the video and I was like, I got to share this. I got to get this around because this is not something we see every day. Two guys from the same hometown talking to each other.
City of Waterford even shared that video.
How about that?
The fact that the city of Waterford also said that on their Facebook page too, saying the captain, 2 great guys from Waterford. That just says a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And I guess to close off this subject, it's moments like these, like that championship game between Canada and the U.S. from Boston, for Four Nations Championship. It's moments like this that remind us why we love the game of hockey and why hockey is the best game out there. In my opinion. You know what? No, it's not just my opinion. Best game out there. You guys cannot change my mind on that.
That's right. Own
Lacrosse
it.
comes
Own
close.
it.
Hockey, baby. That's hockey.
Like, I like baseball, but hockey's no slouch either. I've seen my fair share of Stanley Cup titles, but we've won by the Wings before I've even seen a Tiger World Series win, so I can't deny that.
But if you meet hockey players, they're so much different than any other sports people.
Oh, yes, they are.
They're so
100%.
down to earth.
Oh, yeah, I've seen my fair share, like that. I've
They're
seen my
just
fair
like-
share of them,
yeah.
so.
They are so tough.
Yes.
They'll play through almost any injury. Like, you could have, like, say, a broken bone in your arm. They're just like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm ready to skate.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's, just ask the Bruins. They're very angry right now because
you
of
get
that.
Yeah,
The McAvoy played through his injuries.
playing hockey, if you get hit and you start bleeding, you're trying to stop the blood so they don't make you not play.
Right.
So you're trying to figure anything, putting ice on it or something to stop you from bleeding because they got scars everywhere. But that's how hockey players are. They're just fantastic.
They're built different.
Yes, they are. I've seen that.
Yep.
And being a high school hockey manager, I've seen how tough hockey players really can be.
It is not for the soft. That is for sure.
Nope.
I don't know if I could have played hockey. I just don't know if I was built tough enough.
I don't know how to play hockey. I'm a huge hockey fan. I don't know how to play hockey.
Hey, we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
Balance issues myself, so I'm out of the question.
There's only one hockey player sitting here. And look at him. Look at him.
He's showing off that toughness already.
It was fun, though.
Yeah, I bet.
That's absolute. Anything else on your guys' mind, sports-wise?
Well, we do have the Winter Olympics coming next year, and that's going to be fun. I always enjoy the Winter Olympics more than I enjoy the Summer Olympics. So, well, mainly because there's hockey.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the biggest reason I watch them.
like I said, this whole tournament we just talked about was a preview of that exactly.
Yes.
So
Figure skaters are always hot.
I also
the women's one.
Figure skaters are always hot. So
That's because they're doing all that skating.
all right. This conversation keeps getting more and more interesting.
Yeah.
I like hockey, but another sport I really like in the Winter Olympics, bobsled. Love the bobsled.
Oh, yeah.
That's so much fun.
Bobsled,
Yeah,
the
bobsled,
luge, too. You like the luge, too? Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
all those events because
Yeah.
it's so fast.
and
Yeah.
watch the skiers crash.
Have you ever been snow skiing?
Yes.
So you know what it feels like to crash.
Yep, I hit a continental
That's not fun.
in the Pine Knot parking lot.
What? You crashed in the Pine Knot parking lot?
I
You're supposed to wait till you get on the mountain.
when we played hockey, we weren't allowed to go skiing,
Well, for good reason.
and so the coach we weren't allowed to. So I never went skiing. I just thought it was good at everything. So my buddy put me on the mogul hill for the first hill.
Ooh.
Oh no,
Oh.
tough one.
So, anyways, I hit a continental and I went and sat in the bar the rest of the day.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah. So Winter Olympics hockey, bobsled and luge, those are great. The ski jump, I love the ski jump. That's one of my favorites. I love. It's not called a decathlon.
Biathlon?
Yes.
That's fun to watch too.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. So those are the ones. Figure skating, I leave that to Jim.
I always wanted to try that. I used to do the pirouettes and jump in the air, and
I'm sure you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't wear the tutu, but
I bet you did wear the tutu.
I did. For a kill.
If my memory serves me correctly, I think we're less than a year away from the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
So it's coming quickly.
Uh-huh.
Looking forward to it. And looking forward to NHL players return for both Canada and USA returning back. Hopefully, it's both of those two teams for the gold medal match. Because I would love Team USA to get some revenge.
Yeah, sure.
We got some
Betcha.
motivation now that we lost to Canada on our own home soil. Let's
Yeah.
use that motivation to our advantage.
I hope so.
we should.
Canada's tough. We'll see.
Yep, but hopefully that's the match we get in the Olympics. But a lot to look forward to in the coming days leading up to the Winter Games.
Yep,
And,
coming months, actually. We've got a long way to go still.
Yeah.
We do.
But time flies.
It does, as we just learned.
Well, I'd like to bring up a little subject.
Go ahead.
I think it's interesting is Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Amazing that what she's done for women's sports. It's just
Now, who's
brought-
Caitlin Clark?
she brought him to the forefront. It's
I'm
ever
sorry.
since you started hearing she was going to break records, and everybody's like, well, that's not the same as men and all this stuff. But what she's done for women's sports has really brought it. There's a lot of attention now brought to sports, and she's really a talent.
She is. She's really a talent. I mean, the WNBA is filled with a lot of hot talent, but she's certainly, she was the best college player in the nation.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Iowa was not lousy because of it.
yeah.
But she seems to have a good personality, like a person to,
Oh,
promote.
how do you know that? She might be a horrible person. You don't know that.
Because I got Facebook facts.
Oh, Facebook fact. Okay.
Face,
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
I can judge people not well, but I mean, I can. I would just thought it was interesting that what an impact she's had, and you seem to have seen a lot more women's sports and seems more relevant. I mean, it's not making me choke when I have to watch something, but.
Well, yeah. Detroit missed out on getting a WNBA expansion.
Yeah, to Cleveland.
Yeah, to Cleveland.
That's still. There's still more opportunities down the road.
There is, yeah.
So it's not like the NBA saying, "Oh, that's the only expansion we're going to be doing." No.
No. They're going to wait until that league grows a bit more in its fandom and then start. When there's a demand, they meet it. So there just isn't a demand yet.
Oh, I forgot. I wanted to bring up. I did see a championship football game in Michigan.
Oh, yeah? That's awesome.
I got some autographs too.
Ooh.
Michigan Panthers, the first year of the.
Oh, yeah.
United Football League.
That's
The old
awesome.
one. Nice.
You were there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they got autographs and.
Who's that, Bobby Hebert?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bobby Hebert.
Bobby,
nice.
And
got a football chain.
dang. Who were the receivers? It's the college boys, Canadian players. It was.
That was
and it
100
the
years
first
ago,
year.
man.
Yeah, and they won. But I guess that's still going on now. They brought that back.
Yeah, they brought it back. Yeah.
And that's why with
going a
the
little stronger,
XFL
too.
emerged into the United Football League, and they're
Do you like that?
back. I've never been to Ford Field for any of the games, so. But
Have you ever watched a game?
I've watched some of them.
Yeah, I watched a
It's kind of hard
couple.
to support the league nowadays because Birmingham keeps winning.
Yeah. Yeah, I caught a couple of games, a couple of Memphis games. I didn't see any Detroit games, but
Yeah.
I can't stand flag football, but
you mean like the Pro Bowl?
Oh, yes, the Pro Bowl.
joke.
So boring.
What a
why don't
joke!
they just play the girls or something? I mean, I'm not trying to be just. I don't know. You're just.
I'd rather watch both teams sit down and eat sandwiches. So
not
boring.
yeah.
Ugh. Good thing I'd watch.
Yeah. Thank God hockey's not stupid. Anyways.
Yeah,
To be honest with you guys, I'd actually rather watch curling than the Pro Bowl.
I would too. I would too.
At least there's some drama in there.
Right? I know. I don't understand what's going on, but man, it's dramatic.
Last time I liked it was when it was in Hawaii, but it's it's in Hawaii.
It used to be in Hawaii.
It used to be in Hawaii.
Oh, the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about curling.
Curling.
I was like, what are you talking about? They're not doing curling in Hawaii.
Hey, thanks for the explanation, by the way.
I just
The
remember,
clean sweep.
I remember watching Pro Bowls in the past, and when they kick extra point, the guys would just be putting their hands up like that instead of pulling the full over. They just gently raise their hand to make it look like they're trying to block the
Right.
extra point.
Yeah.
And actually once said, yes, there are penalties in the Pro Bowl. That clip is still funny. His dry humor is
Hey, could you see Jack Lambert in the Pro Bowl?
No,
He would kill somebody.
and the reason why they're
saying.
doing flag football now is because the players were not playing in the actual Pro Bowl game. They were just going through the motions.
Right.
Because they didn't want to get hurt.
Exactly.
Because it's
And of
before
course,
the
you got
Super
the
Bowl.
two teams,
Because they're
right?
millionaires.
And of course, if you're the players in the Super Bowl, you're obviously not taking part.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Silly.
I mean, the world's. Everybody's gonna be out to the game, but there's a reason that's held in the middle of the season.
So they should be
Yes.
playing other countries then.
NFL, I don't know what they need to do, to be honest with you. I
Maybe
really
they're
don't
trying
know.
to go international.
I know that
what
we're
are
more
they,
likely
play
to
Canadian
have more
teams?
any.
No, they can play the Australians.
Yeah, the Aussie rules football is a little different than ours.
Yeah.
How about the Irish? They know the Gaelic football.
Well,
You ever watch that?
No, I'm an
No.
American.
Oh my God! If you get hurt, they have to drag you off the field. It's so cool. Gotta love Irish. Anything that
I don't know what the NFL needs to do differently, but they do need to do something differently for that all-star break. You know.
Yeah, something. Like you said, I have no solutions, but yeah, something different.
Yeah.
What?
I'm blank on ideas on that.
NBA also needs a little help.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, they're also about to go to NBC now once
need
again,
more
but even
fights.
still,
Yeah.
ratings
Need
are
some more
down.
balance.
It's not helpful.
No. Ratings are down across the board for the NBA, and they're having a really hard time. It reminds me of the '70s. When NBA viewership was way down in the 70s and did not pick up until to be honest, until Magic
Dr.
Johnson
J.
and no Dr. I mean that's the thing about the 70s is that there was a couple of star players in the NBA that had their following and people liked to watch them, but nobody was really paying attention to
No,
the
we liked
teams.
the Globetrotters back then.
We liked the Globetrotters back then, exactly.
Yep.
Because they were entertaining. It was
Oh my God,
fun.
they were great.
And
Curly
then,
Neal and all that.
but when the show started in LA,
Oh,
with Magic and those guys.
Yep, Kareem.
That's what all eyes started going
except
on
when they
basketball.
kissed.
And so it was a lot of fun because there was a lot
Yeah.
of magic happening.
Yeah.
But really, the moment basketball changed for the better is when the Bad Boys came on the scene.
yes.
And just put the hammer to everybody. It was
Isaiah's-
brutal.
Isaiah was so amazing.
It was high octane defensive games, and it was fantastic. And of course, it's going to move away from that, and it did, and which is why Chicago dominated for six championships.
Yep.
Six championships.
Two three.
Michael Jordan there.
Yeah, and because they adapted to that and changed the game as well. And this is the progression we see. This is where it ends up. This is where all that ends up. We're at this moment, we're full circle back at the 70s, and we're going to need a little magic to be thrown into the league. And whatever that is, I don't know what it is, when it will happen. I don't know. We'll see.
But LeBron's been picking players to come play with him.
Listen, LeBron's a great player,
And his son is now playing for the Lakers.
Ronnie
Yeah.
James.
But I mean, I don't know how you just pick how players are running. Anyways,
that's the problem. Is that
So many trades. It's hard to get the attachment.
yeah, there seems to be no order anymore. It's just chaos in the NBA, and on top of that, it's poor playing. So of course, viewership has dropped dramatically. You know, they're shooting nothing but threes. They're not driving. There's no defense. It's chaos. Players are running things, not playing, leaving. Coaches. I mean, it's just nuts. No wonder everybody's so excited about what Caitlin Clark's going to do. They're hoping that they're going to create a better basketball league.
no, I mean she's amazing.
Yeah.
I watched her. She was throwing footballs. They had the thing for footballs. You know, the targets.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. She just nailed every one of them. Just smoked them. I was like,
Well, maybe we should get her for the Lions. Be a
Yes.
backup for
there
golf.
you go.
Creates her own shot. Makes a good basketball player.
Yeah. Yes.
It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like the NBA is going to really conflict much with the NFL scheduling wise. I mean, they're probably done by the time for weekends anyway. So.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was gonna say, and she's been through a lot too, like a lot of abuse too from other players in the WNBA, and she just keeps going and keeps playing.
I hope so, because that's the heart of a champion. That's a true competitor right there.
Absolutely.
You know, any true competitor, any competitor knows that there are going to be people that are going to boo you, and there are going to be people that cheer for you, and none of it matters. None of it matters. All that matters is the competition, and that's what we see with Clark, I think.
I agree. She just goes out there and plays it, gives it her all.
Lets her game do the talking.
Yep.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
agree 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely, great.
That's he
player.
does.
All right.
Anything else you guys wanted to bring up? Or?
No.
I don't know. It was a great show.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It's been fun.
Guys, this has been absolutely great. So
We've just been laughing
Gary
and
and
having
Jim,
fun.
thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It has
You guys
been-
made the show
It has
great
been an
tonight, so
honor
thank
having
you.
you
You guys are
guys.
great.
Yeah, thanks, guys. First of all, I want to say that I'm a fan of the show. I watched the show. I remember when I first saw it, and I was like, "What the heck is this?" I don't remember anybody doing a sports show on the channel. And so I just started watching. I was like, "Man, these guys are pretty good. I like this." And then Jim comes up to me last week, and says, "Hey, they want us to come on the show after we do ours." I was like, "Why? Why do they want us?
Why do we want to wreck their show?
Why
Have a guess. So
are they looking for somebody to ruin their show?"
They have a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom puts it on her television on YouTube. I had the YouTube app and puts it on the television when he uploads it.
Yeah, and I love it. And now I get to watch myself, which is my favorite thing to do.
And in case you're wondering how, kind of like to give you an estimate on the audience, my Aunt Sarah, who lives in Indiana, after I upload each episode, she'll get in bed and she'll turn on the show and watch it. She'll actually I don't know if she's got a TV or she just puts it on the laptop. And she'll turn on the next episode of Two Guys Talk Sports Friday Roundtable. She will watch it instantly. That's what she tells me. So
Well, that's a good aunt. You better get her a good birthday present this year then.
yeah, I feel like I owe her
Absolutely.
something.
Right?
Think it's something really, really good. But something really.
So hi, Auntie.
Hello to all my family in Aunt Sarah in Indiana. All right, sports fans.
Sorry you live in Indiana. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm actually from Indiana, by the way.
I noticed.
He's from Michiana area near the Michigan near South Bend.
Part of how I
You're
became
bad pasting teams.
Part of how you became a Chicago fan.
Right,
Yep,
right,
and a
right.
Purdue fan too.
Yeah. Oh well. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I figured you guys might give me a hard time.
Yeah, that makes my blood boil.
Oh, boo! It's a bad joke.
I know you got to stay out of the locker rooms there. Though. What?
All right, sports fans, we hope you have laughed along well with us, and we hope you have enjoyed this week's special edition of Friday Roundtable. Again, special thanks to Gary and to Jim for joining us and talking sports and elevating the show today. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. I'm glad we didn't ruin it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said,
guys elevated
elevated it. It's been fun. We've been laughing basically nonstop. It's just great.
Absolutely.
Good way to end the week off too.
Yep. Laughter's the best medicine. And again, once more, if you for those of you who may not know, follow us on Two Guys Talk Sports on Facebook and then Two Guys Talk Sports and other things on YouTube for each and every Friday Roundtable and other videos that we may post. And leave comments in the videos. We'd love to see what you guys have to say. And any questions you have, feel free to leave them. We'll try to answer them in any episode we have.
Don't comment about my mustache.
All right. With all that being said, we hope you enjoyed this week's Friday Roundtable once more. Thank you for everything. Thanks to Jim over here. Thanks to Gary. Thanks to Josh and Barry and Whitney and to everyone who works here at the Waterford 10 Studios. All right. With all that being said, this is Jake Waxman
And Tyler Lavalette.
wishing you all a good weekend. Take care, everyone.